Hey everyone, Gabe here, and I'm recording this on Thursday afternoon of October 1st, which means it is October, which means we have been in this COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, season for 6.5 months, which is a long time. And I don't know how many of you feel like me, but for myself, over the last couple of weeks in particular, I just feel like I've kind of hit this wall, right? Like emotionally, I'm just kind of spent. Like there's just fatigue, there's burnout, there's frustration, there's sadness, and that comes from looking back and saying we've been in this for over 6 months. We've been in this season through Easter and through Mother's Day and Father's Day and summer break and through the fair and through school starting back up and Labor Day and now we're looking ahead and Thanksgiving's around the corner and Christmas right after that, New Year's, and you look and you're like, well, we've been going for 6 months. How much longer do we have? There's not a definite like finish line to all this, and man, that is exhausting. And that's not the only thing going on, right? Like the world is really the tension is ratcheted up so much right now all around us, and in that same amount of time as we've been dealing with the pandemic, we've been dealing with racial tension, we've been dealing with protesting, violent protesting, we've been dealing with just economic fear and uncertainty and small businesses closing their doors and just very real felt concerns. Within our own church family, we've had just some very serious medical diagnoses that it's scary and it's out of our control. And then on top of that, we get to go through an election, and every 4 years it seems like our elections are contentious, but this is like next level stuff here right now, and we're somehow having to stand up under all of this, and so that's why I say is that all of this persists and we continue to go through it. For myself, I can say I feel like I've kind of just like hit that wall, right? Okay, all right, God, I know you're in control, right? I can look at the story of Joseph, like we've been talking about on Sundays, and I can say, God, you were with Joseph in the pit for 13 years, right, in prison, and so God, you're with us now too. But how, when we've hit that wall, when we feel like we're kind of just emotionally spent, how do we push through that? How do we keep moving forward? And so if you're feeling that way like me, I want to read to you Psalm 3. I came across this today and I wanted to share it with you all. The superscription of this psalm says it's a psalm of David that he wrote when he fled from Absalom, his son. And if you remember, you might remember the story. King David, he had a son named Absalom who wanted the throne. And Absalom gathered a whole bunch of a very large following, including some of the people closest to King David. And he marched into the city and he drove David out of his palace. And David is on the run for his life with his own son trying to kill him. His closest advisor and best friend, a man named Ahithophel, has betrayed him and followed Absalom and many others who were close to David. And so David doesn't know who he can trust. He doesn't know, if he's going to survive the night. And he writes this psalm reflecting upon that moment of his life. And he says, O Lord, how many are my foes? Many are rising against me. Many are saying of my soul, there is no salvation for him in God. Selah. But you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory and the lifter of my head. I cried aloud to the Lord, and he answered me from his holy hill. Selah. I lay down and slept. I woke again, for the Lord sustained me. I will not be afraid of many thousands of people who've set themselves against me all around. Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God, for you strike all my enemies on the cheek. You break the teeth of the wicked. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing be on your people. Selah. David's enemies were many when he sat down to write this psalm. And our struggles are different than David's, obviously, and yet our struggles are also many. And so if you feel similar to me in this, 6.5 months into this pandemic, I would encourage you to spend some time in Psalm 3. In fact, I would encourage you to pray through Psalm 3. And what that means is try to make David's words your own words in your cry to God. I think that can be a very powerful experience for you, a very rich experience for you, as it helps us in the midst of everything we're going through to turn our minds to God in the midst of a season of a whole bunch of stuff that we can't control, that just won't end. So I hope that you will do that. I hope this is encouraging to you. We will see you on Sunday, either at our service, outdoor service, or online for our live stream. Until then, we are here for you. Don't hesitate to reach out to Mike or myself if you need anything at all, or to our elders as well. And we miss you. We love you. And we'll talk to you soon.